Hello, my name is Thomas Anand. I am a freshman biochemistry major here at St. Vincent College. I am of Indian heritage. My grandfather came as a graduate student from India and landed in the U.S. on August 28, 1963. When he arrived in Pittsburgh, someone in his host home turned on the TV, and there was a special report. My grandfather watched live as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led the March on Washington. Let me tell you about Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his impact on my life, and his legacy on America. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is an important civil rights figure and leader from the 1950s and 60s. He was a Baptist minister who was extremely well educated, earning a PhD in systematic theology from Boston University. Throughout his life, he advocated for the equal and fair treatment of all people. He fought to transcend the color barrier. For me, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is a role model because he was persistent, he was patient, and he was passionate. He never took no for an answer and always kept rising up from failure to tackle the next challenge. He never gave up. He was not afraid to stand up for what was right, even when it gained him enemies. He always used peaceful methods to convey his message and treated even his enemies with respect. His most famous speech is the "I Have a Dream" speech, given on the same day that my grandfather landed in America. One part of this speech really resonates with me. In this speech, he said that for America to be truly great, freedom must ring from the Alleghenies of Pennsylvania to the Lookout Mountains of Tennessee. I live in the Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, and my best friend lives in Tennessee. We have different skin colors, but because of the work of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we are treated as equals. We are able to be educated in the same schools, eat at the same restaurants, and hang out together in public spaces. This is something that we may not have been able to do if it were not for Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. My country, the United States of America, has come far since the 1950s and 60s. It is important to look at and acknowledge just how much this country has grown by standing on the shoulders of giants like the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.